I remember my first aha moment that I knew that I was different from other kids. It was kindergarten, and the kids were coloring with crayons, and there were these beautiful lights above, and they were super hot, and they had a hole in the bottom of them. And for whatever notion, I took the crayon and threw it up there, knowing that it would melt. And it would melt and drop down on the floor. And then I figured out, well, let's throw a different color up there. So I threw a different color up there. I started to make something out of the melted wax that dripped onto the floor. I knew roughly at an early age that I was just a little different. Just a little different. And it had to do with art. Not knowing where some of these things come from. They just manifest, but I still have to get them out. This is the human heart. I forget how many, there's like 1,300 and so many dots. Don't know where it came from, not really sure. Whereas this piece is a piece that I had in my head for many years, and I couldn't paint from the medication. Mainly the medication would retard my sense of inspiration and actually performing. But this is something I had in my head for years and just, couldn't let it go. And again, it's just one of those things that I've got to get out of my head to clear space and create more space for newer things. From a really young age, I'd been on medications pretty much all my life. And I would hallucinate during the days and especially at night. They thought I was crazy from the get-go at a young age. I would wake up, seeing silhouettes of men at the door with the door open, and it's just a stark silhouette. And it was terrifying. And I would be screaming and crying. They knew something was wrong, but they couldn't tell what. I am going to my local grocery store to my pharmacy to pick up my meds. It's meds day. Let's see, this one is lithium carbonate 150. And we have alprazolam 0.25. Trazodone 150, aripiprazole 10 milligrams, and lithium carbonate 300. And these are all for my bipolar. Even at a young age, I didn't really pretend. I didn't watch Sesame Street. I couldn't get along with Mr. Rogers. I just couldn't pretend. I didn't feel comfortable with other kids. I was definitely a loner at first. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of supervision. So I got in a lot of trouble. And that draws different children towards you. The bad kids that see it's like, oh, there's a bad seed, let's get him too. It started happening at a young age. Fights and things like that. But I took up for the kids. I took up for the nerds. I took up for the kids that were different, that got treated different, because I knew how it felt. I mean, I literally beat up one of my friends in 6th grade because he was picking on a lesser kid that was just weaker, and he was picking on him, so I just took him out. And, it kind of started then. I was associated in gangs. I mean, you literally had to be associated in a gang in a certain school that I went to. If you didn't join, they would just keep initiating you and beating the crap out of you till you gave up, till you became one of them. You got to wear their hat, you got to wear their jacket. At certain points, you had to pack a gun, but you had to be ready to, one, be ready to fight, like all the time. I need instant gratification. I like to sit down and complete one piece in one sitting if I can, if at all possible. I would get bored with just doing watercolors, and I would move to, melting crayons or using acrylics. I started building skateboard ramps, and that got me into construction and learning framework for sculpting. Just being multifaceted really appealed to me. And again, I don't know if that's from a manic state. Possibly that's part of it. And then inspiration comes. I just see things on the side of the road, like an electrical tower. And I just wonder if I can make that. So I bought a welder. We grew up, hanging out underneath the power lines. In West Texas, it was just flat. It's so flat that you can see the bow in the earth. The key is to travel out as far as you can so you can't see the headlights, so the cops can't see the headlights from your cars. So you go a few power lines down, which is like, 5 miles or so. And you hang out on the power lines and you hear the buzz of the power lines and there's nothing out there. It's mesquite, it's dirt and cows and barbed wire fences. And you just sit out there and you drink.
What I like best about Ryan's work is his ability to travel back in memory. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the curator of Thompson Giroux Gallery. We've been located here on Main Street in Chatham, New York for about 11 years. These pieces take us back to a time that we can all connect to, a time that existed in another world almost. These memories become souvenirs. They become parts of the past that we bring into the future. The way he strips down the canvas using a natural wood allows us to also imprint our own feelings and our own memories while traveling with him.
This is a series from my childhood, so this was my actual favorite squirt gun. Childhood was pretty rough growing up, so I just wanted to pull the good things out of my childhood and really, this is what I wanted to purvey more so than the rough stuff of my life. This particular piece for me is, this is my grandfather. This is his backyard. Remembering his laundry floating in the breeze, melon patches on the side. We were gonna go fishing in a couple of hours, and his backyard was his pride and joy, his gardens. He would grow everything, and he was such a green thumb. I'm naturally old-fashioned. I love old things. I love old trucks. I like tangible. I like things that you just turn on and you turn off and it works. And there's a harsh click to it. You gotta force it a little bit. You gotta have some muscle to it. Just the quality and the craftsmanship was gorgeous. The color schemes were totally different. I think people were really looking towards the future. They were looking forward to the future and had, like huge high hopes. Being in the 60s, the way things looked, it seemed like we should now be already on different planets. I don't know where this slide was geographically. I cannot remember where it was, but I just remember being very little, being with my brothers, and again, this old era of how they designed things. And it brought me so much joy, and I still remember it. The nostalgia of being out and almost being able to go to space was a lot of fun. In the 50s, 60s, and 70s, even kitchen appliances were awesome back then. It's one of the reasons I love my truck is you look at it and it looks happy. It looks like it's wearing glasses and it just looks happy going down the road. I see little kids all the time and little kids are so drawn to this truck. They're always pointing and just like you go by and it's just like they love it. It looks like a toy. The country around here is so beautiful. It helps me breathe. It really just lets me breathe and get away. Roll down the window and just turn up some tunes and just drive. It's one of my escapes. This particular piece is actually was my bike. Again, it's just the old style, the era of these frames to me were just so great. Mine was blue, but I wanted green, couldn't get it. And wheels too, I was just really attracted to anything with wheels. Like I had to be moving. I had to constantly be moving, and it was a sense of freedom for me. And that's how that's how I learned my town. It was a great escape as a child. Becoming a father really changed, my entire life. I had to rearrange everything. It afforded me the time to become a different man, much more aware of my situation, much more aware of everyone else around me. Being a parent is the best thing that's happened to me in my life. It's calmed me down. I'm on a plateau where it's nice and steady. You have to remain there in order to raise a healthy child, I think.
Ryan has been an artist who's been really exciting to work with. He's incredibly hardworking and diligent. And what that adds up to is confidence. We can count on him, and that's important for a gallery. Ryan's work is easy to match with other artists. The dialogue shifts no matter whose work you put next to it. There's a compatibility simply because it works. Ryan has also done some excellent work with his illustrations. I was very excited to see a coloring book that he had put together. Ryan's work asks us to apply our own feelings to it because we connect to it and then look to complete the picture.
This is a coloring book I did just a few months ago, and it's literally just sketches for larger pieces but I took black and whites before they were colored in, and just decided that they were fun. And I thought, what a great, target for, especially now that we're in COVID and everyone's at home. It's just like give these kids or even adults something to do. And it turned out to be a real big hit. I was really surprised. I was really taken aback when folks praised it, and we sold a lot. And it wasn't just for our sales alone. I try to give to charities through t-shirts that I make, through the coloring books. And my wife's really a stickler for this, but I do a lot of paintings, a lot of drawings, and I give them away. When people tell me, it's like, it touches them in some way, and it means something to me. I mean, that's the reason why I do this half the time is, not for recognition, but it makes somebody else feel good. It reminds them of something, it touches them in some way, and that's very special to me. It's my way of reaching out and giving back. Being bipolar too is, it's a daily struggle, it's a daily maintenance. A battle with mood swings, and then very, very extreme mood swings. It's like blacking out and going into this other person and waking up in this other person after all the damage is done. It's frightening, it's scary. But being diagnosed gave me a sense of peace. I take 5 to 7 medications per day. And they're harsh. They're very harsh on the body. They attack the liver, they attack the thyroid. I've gained 25 to 30 pounds. Trying to find that cocktail that works specifically for that person. For me, it's been a process of about 5 years so far. I'm experimenting, like I said, with THC, CBDs. Definitely therapy is a key. I've got a beautiful family. I've got a great home. I feel safe. I feel sound. I feel grounded now. It's a struggle, but once you embrace what you have and what you are, you can move forward and move on. Don't give up hope. There's a way to find out for you specifically what you need.